Hi, and welcome to the Beer Temple. I am Chris Quinn, coming to you again from our work in progress bar here that we are expanding into. I apologize for the audio. Little known fact, we actually are having audio sound absorbing panels put in different areas of the bar just so I can do things like this. But that's beside the point. Today we are talking about beers with rhubarb in them. This is just one of those shows that came about when we were walking around the store and saw that there were a whole bunch of beers with rhubarb in them and said, why not do a show about beers with rhubarb in them? So a little bit of how the sausage is made, except probably even less interesting. But anyway, the four beers I have are the Allagash Fluxus, the New Glarus Strawberry Rhubarb, the Scorched Earth Sweetie Pie, and the Unane La Soul 20. And I've only had, of these four, I've only had this beer, and I remember liking it a lot. So I guess we'll just probably go this way. This is a Saison with rhubarb. These two obviously, or I think these three all have strawberry in them as well, these two being sour. The Fluxus is a beer I believe we've had on the show in the past, but not this version, because this is the one, or one of the beers, or maybe others from Allagash, that completely changes every year. And it could be any aspect, the style, everything. Fluxus is completely different every single year. So this year it's a rhubarb Saison. I'm gonna let it, if it's gonna gush not on the completely sealed bar yet. You didn't see that. You didn't see me just try to pour into a dump bucket. Yeah. Anyway, got some stuff on my mind. So, so this is the Fluxus 2017, a rhubarb Saison. Let's see if they say mixed fermentation Saison with rhubarb. It's got some Brett in there as well. And then they tell you what I'm supposed to taste from it. So as you can see, Brett, well, first of all, Saison is a very highly carbonated style in general. And then Brettanomyces tends to, eat a lot of sugars that regular brewer's yeast cannot. So when it eats those sugars, it's gonna off-put gas as well, and that comes out as foam. But look at it, I mean, it settles down really nicely. A little bit of a rocky head there. Beautiful looking beer. I'm getting a little bit of a fruity note, stone fruit, like a peach note. Peaches are not citrus fruit, I just learned. A little bit of a dusty, kind of earthy note too, some hay, stuff like that. Probably from the combination of the Saison yeast, which can be a little earthy, and then certainly Brettanomyces, which has that kind of, funky flavor that people talk about. And just a mild, kind of nice fruit note to it. Very carbonated. Even when it kind of hit my mouth, all the bubbles kind of exploded out of the beer. It's nice. It almost has a little bit of a briny quality to it. To me, it's saline, but I'm guessing there's no salt in there. They would have said that. Hint of fruit. It's got some acidity to it. A little bit of that kind of, Saison phenolic, so a hint of like a peppery note too. Yeah, it's nice. It's got this like peppery sour thing with a very mild, soft, fruity, I want to say strawberry, but that could very much be because it's in my mind, because these other ones all do have strawberry in them. But just a very delicate, bright red fruit note to it. Very nice. Be a wonderful beer to drink with a bunch of cheeses or something like that. Really nice beer. Fairly dry. In fact, quite dry. Really nice beer. This is the Strawberry Rhubarb from New Glarus. I would say these guys are the masters of fruit beer, starting with their Belgian Red, the cherry beer they've been making for a long, long time. Then they went to the Raspberry Tart and then Serendipity, and then I believe this was next, the Strawberry Rhubarb, which came out a couple of years ago. It is not the most clear beer here, but certainly intensely kind of looks like a muddled fruit, jammy note. Even the foam has got a little bit of some hints of pink to it. Oh my gosh. I mean, it smells like strawberry pie. Or strawberry pie filling, strawberry preserves, like really thick, chunky strawberry preserves with like chunks of fruit in it. With just a hint of maybe green in there. Yeah. And it tastes like carbonated, slightly dry, which makes no sense because I'm about to say jam. It's sweet, but not sticky syrup sweet. It's got plenty of sugar in there, but the carbonation is also quite high. It helps kind of scrub that sweetness away. And it's not like syrupy sweet, literally, but man, you can drink it fast. And it also has a little bit of acidity in there. It just ends with just a hint of tartness to it. It gets your kind of mouth salivating, so you got that sweet tart thing going, and just a hint of tartness there. Man, really, really fun beer. That beer is delicious. Definitely kind of a dessert, classic fruit beer. And I've noticed that all of them have a little bit of acidity, and I think that trend is only going to continue. Who knows, maybe rhubarb kind of needs some acidity, or works best with acidity. This is the Sweetie Pie. It's a Goza, so I'm guessing it's going to have some sweet and sour to it. This is a Goza, which is a kind of German wheat beer that has some salt to it and also is soured. In this case, the people from Scorched Earth, which is a brewery out in the suburbs here of Chicago, from Algonquin, I think foraged or gathered local rhubarb. Rhubarb grows all over the darn place. Here, I think I have some growing, already the fruit flies are showing up, growing wild in my backyard here in Chicago, so it just kind of sprouts everywhere. It's kind of a nice, golden orange color to it. A little bit of haze, not the most crystal clear beer. Nice little tight bubbles there. Definitely have some of that, salt doesn't have an odor, but it has a kind of briny aroma to it. Little, very light baked bread. Like baked, not quite even biscuity, because it doesn't have that toasted, honeyed note to it, but just like maybe fresh white bread. A little bit of saline, a little bit of honey to it. I just said it doesn't have that honeyed note, but almost like a mead. It has a little bit of like mead quality to it. Hint of like wax paper in there. Not really sweet. It's funny that it's called Sweetie Pie. It is definitely has a mild backbone of some sweetness there, but it's definitely a tart beer. I wouldn't go as far to say it's sour, but it's salty and tart. It's nice. I mean, it's clean. That kind of wax paper aroma is not my favorite, or almost like lipstick or something. I don't know. No, it's like the big cardboard things that produce come in that has that wax liner on. That's what it reminds me of. That's just what I'm getting. Anyway, nice, easy kind of drinking. Got a little bit of a peppery note to it. It does not scream strawberry rhubarb. Doesn't necessarily need to, but yeah, rhubarb and strawberries. Okay, and then later fermented with more strawberries. Okay. Nice, easy drinking beer. The next is the Le Soul 20 from Unane. And what Jerry, the proprietor, has done here is he's got a rotating series, which is the Le Soul series, which I don't think ever really, it doesn't ever repeat. If it repeats, it becomes its own beer. So he has done like a peach Le Soul and then come out with a peach sour, which I'm guessing is kind of based on the Le Soul, but it's just an ever-rotating thing, which he has done 20 iterations of. I guess he's just going to keep doing that forever. I don't know. But this is a strawberry rhubarb beer. Jerry has been making really exceptional beer in general, but sour beer also as of late. And it's funny, nice. The fruit flies love it. Love sour beer. Anything with any sort of acetic acid to it. American Wild Ale, fermented with strawberries and rhubarb. This is 6.5%. Probably not going to get a ton more information about this beer on there. Beautiful color. Has kind of a nice kind of like auburn and pink color to it. Definitely has more of a Brettanomyces note to it. There's definitely more strawberry here too. I'm getting a kind of like a funky, earthy strawberry smell. And definitely some barnyard here too. Some like hay and dusty strawberries. Almost like you pick some strawberries and they're kind of dusty and dirty, and it's nice. Tart, very tart here. I mean, I have to profess some ignorance here. I'm not sure what straight up rhubarb just like tastes like. I've never had like raw rhubarb or just straight up cooked rhubarb. But there is definitely almost like a reedy, woody quality here. There's also a fair amount of very tart strawberry, but not necessarily like a green strawberry. It's like fresh, ripe strawberry that then has some sourness added on top of it. Another little fruit fly is already making its way over here. Trying to see what it's like to be in the bar business. Already driving me nuts. I want to kill that bug. I'll probably have to end this soon so I can go fruit fly hunting. Nice. I'm getting maybe a hint of that same waxy quality here, but more of like a sawdust thing. Very nice. I mean, it's good. It's sour. It's got plenty of that fruit character to it. Not the most complex sour in the world, but plenty of fruit, plenty of tartness, nice and clean, refreshing, quenching. It's a good beer. I mean, my personal favorites, I think, are definitely right here. This beer in particular is pretty amazing, and it's funny because it's I'm not a big sweet fruit beer guy, but when they nail it like this, and it's just like drinking a strawberry, it's pretty exceptional. I mean, they are the masters of fruit beer in my mind. So, surprise, surprise, my favorite was the New Glarus Strawberry Rhubarb, which really says nothing about the other beers, because I think we could have had a whole bunch of beers up here and that wouldn't have affected the outcome. Thanks so much, guys, for sitting and listening to me talk about rhubarb and strawberry a whole bunch. Feel free to follow us or like us on iTunes or anything like that. That helps us get kind of the word out. It's a way that you guys can help us. And yeah, drop me a line if there's anything you want us to do a video on. Hope you're excited about the new space. Come on in and see us soon. And until next time, I've got a whole bunch of beers with rhubarb to drink in them, and hopefully you do too. Cheers.